It's 8:45, and on the telephone with us this morning, Dick Clawson. In the studio, Mark Bertig and Frank Garritano. Gentlemen, good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you all with us. Dick calling in this morning, and so you don't get the chance to see these two smiling faces that are in the studio with us. The big Youth Legion tournament gets underway this weekend. Dick, I know that for you this is one of the great moments of the year, and two big weekends of baseball, huh?
Absolutely. Look forward to it. There's a lot of planning on everybody's part that goes into it, and it's an excellent event, and it's a good showcase.
Yeah, and Frank Garritano, I know you echo those thoughts. It just is a tremendous moment in the calendar year for all of our local baseball, and it also is a lot of hard work to put a thing like this together.
Absolutely. A lot of credit goes to the Homer City baseball boosters who put in many hours, not only preparing the field, but getting concessions ready and going through advertising and making sure that the rackets are run well and contingency plans are made in case of inclement weather.
And everybody has a big pair of rubber boots. Dick, you got your boots ready for tomorrow?
I don't like to talk about that, but we'll have to muck through the mud if we have to.
Yeah, you'll muck through the mud. Mark Bertig, you and the Homer City Boosters, you know that even if we don't get the weather that they're talking about, it's just a tremendous undertaking. All of those baseball games and all of those dedicated boosters that are there to make sure this all happens.
Tremendous amount of work. There's a core group that has really done a yeoman's job through the years. I think back, it's hard to believe, the first time we brought the state tournament, which will be next Saturday, we're talking Western Regionals tomorrow, was 1996, and it had been about 20 years since it had been to the western side of the state. So we've hosted some regionals dating back to the 80s, but I don't know, probably a dozen or so regionals we've hosted now, and starting next Saturday, it'll be our 9th state tournament. Comes with a little bit of financial risk, but we've been able to pull it off. But really behind the scenes, what goes on, Todd, is incredible. I was just telling Frank Garritano, our league president, who does such a fabulous job for the entire Indiana County Youth Legion League, that one of our guys, Don Mester, and I think you know Don and Denny and Chris Graham, three of the core guys that put in a ton of time. Don called and he said, "You know what time we got out of there last night?" As they were replacing sod, and we had some heavy rain, earlier in the evening. And I sarcastically said, "I don't know, you were probably home in bed around 8:30. And he said, "We shut the lights off at 1 a.m.
Well, what else were they going to do with their evening after all?
Yeah, I mean, it's good exercise. He's so physically fit.
Frank Garritano, the Indiana County Youth Legion League schedule is awfully, well, let's say it's complicated a lot of times by weather, by the fact that the teams are now distant for some of these teams. You have to reach out a pretty good distance in order to get everybody together and get them to the game sites and everything. But to pull it off the way that you have, a tremendous amount of administrative work goes on behind the scenes, and it takes cooperation from all of the teams too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When you think back into the late 80s and 90s, where there were 21 teams in the league, and all of them were based in Indiana County, except for Punxsutawney. Now we go as far north as the St. Mary's area school district. We have Armstrong school district also to the north. So those are the two furthest teams away, and we have 11 teams in the league. So our philosophy in Indiana County has always tried to be more baseball for more kids. We really focus on participation, and we'd like to see those numbers up. So there's a lot of effort put in by the coaches and managers of the team. And one of the things I think it speaks well for our county is that you have teams like Fox Township, which is close to St. Mary's. You have Kelly Chrysler, who is from Brookville, Armstrong, who is from the Katanning, Ford City area, who want to come into our league because of how well over the years the league has progressed, and there's good competition in the league. So a lot of work and effort by the managers to get things done has proven well for the county.
Dick Clawson, we know that you're not here because you're actually in Harrisburg, the state meetings for Youth Legion. Your involvement in Youth Legion is a testament to the fact that you really see the value of Legion baseball, don't you? What does Legion baseball do for kids that makes guys like you and Frank and so many others want to be involved in it for all these years?
It builds character, gives them a sense of responsibility, a sense of commitment to sticking it out in the good and the bad times, and it's a good, healthy sport. And there are 166 teams across the state in the youth part. We've got 65 teams in the prep, which is all out east, all 13-year-olds. And we've got 16 teams in what we call the Sandlot, which is 14-year-olds, and that's out in the east. And it's good character. These kids move on to senior legion and possibly into college baseball. They all remember when they left Little League and moved on to the big field.
Yeah, and the dedication that it takes not only from the teams that have to get sponsors, and we want to salute the sponsors as well for all of the teams that will be involved, the travel arrangements, the boosters stepping up here. It really is a team effort, not only the ball players themselves, but everybody else.
Oh, absolutely, and across the state, the volunteer hours that it just isn't during baseball season. These guys take 2 weeks off after the states are over, and they're starting already to plan and have their meetings at the end of August, first part of September, to plan for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Bertig, of course, we should tell folks how the action gets started tomorrow. 10:30 in the morning is the first game. That's Brookville against Plum, and that's the first game of the day. The second game will be Warren against Monroeville. Now, the Brookville Plum winner will play the winner of Armstrong South County. That's out of Erie, and that's at 5 o'clock. And then SW Jack, the host team, against Connellsville tomorrow at 7:30. That's the game we'll have on our affiliate station, AM 1450 WDAD 100.3 FM. And you actually, and all of you fellows, of course, have been involved in various ways down through the years. Your involvement as a manager for these Youth Legion baseball teams gives you a unique look at what goes on and how this event and events such as it impact the lives of young people too.
My involvement, I can thank Ray Goss, Todd, because we started carrying these Legion State tournament games, and for years we were traveling down the turnpike in the 1980s. I guess it would have been, following our Indiana County team. Some great stories, and Buddy Jones, and I'm trying to think who else on that coaching staff several years ago got me involved. Right now, if I saw those guys, I'd give them one.
He's shaking his fist literally at those guys.
But I took over a team, and we started turning our program around down in Homer City. We went to our first state tournament in '93, went back in '94 at Boyertown, almost won it all, and we started hosting tournaments. And I think in 2000 got out of the coaching business, and one of the top assistants I ever had, Mick McCombie, is going to be inducted as a Homer City Booster Club lifetime member next Saturday night. Well-deserved honor. And so it's been a lot of fun. We're stressed sometimes. We put in a lot of hours, but we enjoy doing it. For how much longer? I don't know. I know the meter on the gas tank for all of us as we get older maybe continues toward that E mark, but I invite people to come out. It's good to support these amateur athletes. B, our people, I guess selfishly, I'll say they work so hard. I ask for anybody that likes baseball, even if you don't like baseball and you like to eat. Wow, some of the concession food that they have, not just we have your typical baseball ballpark fare, but we're talking ethnic foods like authentic halushki and halupki, pigs in the blanket. All kinds of sloppy joes and hot sausage and kielbasa. Hopefully I'm making everybody's mouth water, but it's all going to be there. It's worth the nominal price of admission just to line up at the concession stand, which a few of us also like to do.
Frank Garritano, of course, is with us. No, I should press the reset button here and let you know Mark Bertig is here in the studio, Frank Garritano as well, and Dick Clawson is on the telephone. We're talking about the Youth Legion baseball tournament that gets underway. Frank, when the regular season ends and the playoffs finally get through locally, and you move on to the regional tournament as it is here, and then on to the state tournament. It doesn't end from the local standpoint either, does it?
No, it does not. We try to provide as much assistance as possible to Dick Clawson and the Homer City Boosters regarding the regional tournaments, because they have hosted it year after year. And then once that is over in early September, we do have our meetings, as Dick indicated, to start to prepare for next year and see what went well this year, what we may want to change for the following year, and see if there's any interest of other area teams who would like to join the league. So we try to get a start on things to be prepared. What I've found from my experience, the better prepared you are during the off season, and the more work you do during the off season, the easier the season begins and goes smoothly, usually without many problems.
Messes with your golf game, though, doesn't it?
I'm more of a hacker
His
than a
golf
golfer.
game messes with his golf game.
There's no doubt about that. I'm still working toward that to make sure I'm a golfer rather than a hacker.
Yeah. Hey, Dick, do you have the sleeping bag packed, or are you just going to sleep in the chair when you're?
I think I'm going to sleep in the chair. I heard there's a new couch donated up there, so I'll stretch out that and see how it fits.
There you go. You're going to sleep in that new couch, Mark. Is that okay by you?
Yeah, that he's good at that. I was kidding him if Legion, which I suspect maybe next year you might see it in Youth Legion, because in Senior Legion they have the pitch count now for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's Dick. I hope Dick doesn't have to chart pitches, because we'll get to the seventh inning and they'll say, "What's Marino's pitch count?" And he'll say 15. That was when he fell asleep in the second inning.
Dick, you thought being in Harrisburg you'd be away from this abuse, didn't you?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I can feel the love. You know that.
Todd, I wanted to mention we're happy too, because there's some new teams and some teams that were really in the hunt in different league tournaments would have been first timers too. But for Homer City, Warren going to be in Homer City for the first time. Plum and Monroeville, two relatively new franchises, I believe, Dick, are going to be in, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to be in the tournament too, and that just expands the whole footprint and it allows for the involvement of other areas. You find more ball players that way.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our major sponsors. Our presenting sponsor this year is Homer City American Legion Post 493. Wow, what they do for the Homer City Area Athletic Booster Club. First Commonwealth Bank, some similarities with your morning show. They're a gold sponsor. And Homer City Generating Station, they've been with us for a long, long time. Indiana Regional Medical Center, Young and Associates Engineers, just a few of the bigger sponsors. But thank you so much to all of them. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention it'll be the 60th year for the Homer City Area Athletic Booster Club. When the midget football team kicks off in August, that'll be their 60th season. So we're going to recognize that point on the opening night of the state tournament.
There you go. There you go.
If I might add, also on the opening night of the state tournament, we plan to honor Fred Yun, who's a longtime Indiana resident who moved out of the area to be with his kids. We're honoring him for his commitment to Youth Legion baseball over the many years, so we're looking forward to that also.
Going to have to lasso and bring him back.
And we lost 3 members that we're going to recognize, too, a couple of them at the state tournament. Michael DeRubis, who is a manager of the Blairsville Youth Legion team. Umpire Bob Kreinock, we've reached out to his family. And a good friend of mine, fellow umpire, Bill Rakowski.
Yeah. All right. Mark, Frank, Dick, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to seeing the general public out there and plenty of free parking. If the weather's good, it'll be a good time.
All righty. Have a wonderful day. Safe trip back, okay?
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Todd.
It is Indiana in the Morning, presented as always by First Commonwealth Bank. It's AM 1160 WCCS 101.1 FM. Fox News up next, top of the hour. Josh Widdowson is in the 1160 newsroom this morning.